We are watching an LT with the brand new Motorola Razr I here in an unboxing, and we also have the Samsung Galaxy S3 for comparison and HTC Desire V, or you can also call it the Desire X because they're exactly the same except for the dual SIM part. So this is the Motorola Razr I, which has 4.3 inches, an Intel Atom processor. This is the only Intel Atom processor smartphone available in Germany. There's also ZTE and other companies that do this kind of stuff, but I think this Motorola looks the best actually. And we also have here on the back some more technical details, like for example an 8 megapixel camera, and it's only I think 9 millimeters thin, this beautiful smartphone, but has a huge 2000 milliamp battery, or even 2100, I'm not sure, so it's as big as in the Samsung Galaxy S3 almost, but has a much smaller screen. Otherwise, of course, HD camera is already said, and it's also splash guard coated, so if it's a little bit raining outside you can still use it, but you have to watch out not to let it drop in the water, because that's of course a different matter. It's not waterproof, it's just splash proof. So we have, of course, when we first unboxed the phone here, the phone itself, and inside the box it says again Motorola, which is quite fun. Then we have here again Intel inside is saying right there, and we have a few languages actually here for manuals inside this box. I already did unbox it, of course, in German, but let's first see the power adapter. It's not that small, it has 850 milliamps of output at 5.1 volts. What else? We have, of course, here a headset. Headset has a golden ending. Then we have one button and only one microphone inside, and they are not in ear, they are just old standard headphones. Then we have micro USB cable, nothing special actually there, and the few manuals, as I said, 3 languages. This is French, German and Italian, so nothing in English, but the English one probably looks also like this. We have a little bit of help guiding through you the first few steps, how to set up your Wi-Fi and so on. And we have one more thing that's quite interesting, one last thing actually, which is this little box, which contains something that I don't know the name of, but this is a little handy helper which helps you take out the micro SIM or the micro SD card here out of the Motorola. So I will demonstrate that to you in a second. So there's a little plastic part here that helps you change the SIM card, and you can always have this on your keychain actually, so if you travel a lot you can change the SIM card quite easily. So we have here the phone itself. I already took it out of the foil, and let's actually check out first this SIM card part. So we have on this side micro USB port, and here's the little flap which you can open up like this, and then you have right there your micro SIM card reader and your micro SD card reader. And first I thought, there's already a micro SD card inside, but no, that's not true. There is actually only a dummy inside, and let me focus actually on that. So you can take this little plastic thingy, just press it in. I didn't have to look where that was, and then you can take out here your little dummy plastic micro SD card. Let me put it back in because this is a nice feature to show. I think there's 16 gigabytes of internal space. It actually doesn't say it on the box on the phone itself. And so if we go around, you will see that we have here on the top a micro, the headset port, of course, 3.5 millimeter. On this side, this is the on switch. Then we have volume control and the dedicated camera button. On the bottom there's nothing, but here on the front there is the microphone hole, which is of course useful. Then on the back we have here the 8 megapixel camera with flash Kevlar coated back, which is quite nice. I'm not even sure if it's only coated or there's real Kevlar actually on here. And below that is the battery, which you cannot change in this phone. So you can see this is a really quite nice design. And then we have, of course, the beautiful 4.3 inch screen, which is brighter than the Samsung Galaxy S3 one. So you can check out our outdoor video. It looks quite stunning even when the sun is shining directly onto the screen. So you can see also we have here on the side quite a nice feature, which seems to be completely metal here outside. I love this, and on the top the Motorola logo looks also quite stunning. So let me go home, and you can see here we have a quite beautiful home picture, and then you can see when we first turn it on and go to the right, we get a little help. We can use a template or a blank page for an extra page. If I go back and the other way around, you can change all your settings right away, so you don't have to drop down anything from the top. You can also do that, of course, but right away here you see data connection and everything else is quite easy to set. If you go down from the top to the bottom, you also get a little help. If you swipe to the left, for example, you can delete your previous notifications and so on. It says everything on here, so Motorola gives you a quite easy start here to use this smartphone. Otherwise, this is regular Android 4.0.4 here installed. There's not too many widgets actually here by Motorola. If I go through here, you can of course check or just stop the video to see what is installed on here. There's not too much, but I mean the Android store is full of surprises, so you should check that out for sure. And before we end this video with a comparison of a few other smartphones, let me show you the camera. As you can see, this is quite nice. It's also really fast, and what I didn't show in the German video is actually there is also a front camera, which is also really fast and just shoots stunning pictures. And you can see actually here the camera that I'm using, Panasonic GH2, here right in front of me, so it's really quite blazing fast, and I just love this. I want to try it out in a club, maybe see how it does in low light, and of course shoot some HD videos soon. So we have the Samsung Galaxy S3 here. Let me turn off the screen, and then let's see in terms of thickness that the Motorola is of course a little bit thicker, since there is a huge battery inside and doesn't have as big as a screen. But otherwise I would choose a 4.3 inch smartphone rather than the 4.8 inch smartphone, as you can see here in terms of size comparison. Let me actually hold it this way so you can see it better. So in terms of size, there is of course 4.3 inches a lot nicer. Then we have a, as I said, Desire V here, 4-inch screen, which looks like this. And yeah, that's also quite a nice size. The iPhone 5 has the same size display, so you can see this is quite okay here with the 4.3 inches. It's as big as a Samsung Galaxy S3, so S2. I don't have it here right now. It's a little bit thicker than that, but of course the battery is just a lot bigger. Till next time, please tune in again. This was the $400 Motorola Razr I, coming out I think in the next 2 weeks, also in the US, and in the UK it's probably out already. Once the price drops below 300, I think this will be really attractive. Till next time, please tune in again. Check out my review soon on Endeavor TV, and please subscribe.